Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Just Chat. It's very cold this morning. Right now where I am, it's about 9 degrees Celsius, and that's pretty cold for me. I'm wearing a huge jacket right now. I'm in my room, and it's still very cold. But we have an excellent hot topic to talk about, which is unveiling the tapestry of self. Journey to into our personal discovery, finding out what's in us, that's inner self, that what can make us to be a better of us, better person, right? Because we all know that we are at one point of our life and we want to be better, not worse. We want to be better than that. Okay, so today's episode, we're going to talk about that. And with us today, we have a guest also from Taiwan. Her name is Shuang-Min Chang, and she has a website called www.shuangminchang.com. I put it down there on the list. You can please take a look at it. So let's invite our guest, Shuang-Min. Hey, Shuang-Min.
Hello, good morning. I'm Shuang-Min, and I'm supposed to do a short intro. By profession, I am an achievement coach and intuitive healer now. And then by life, I like to serve, I like to do motivation, no talk, and I write a lot.
You write a lot, you say?
Yeah, I love
Did you
writing. And there should be a book called Author coming out in June.
in June? Wow, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Exciting. Wow. So you are also from Taiwan and you are
Yeah.
located in Taitung, is that right?
Yeah,
That's actually a very beautiful place in Taiwan. If no one
it
has been
is.
there, I have been there once, actually once, twice, and it's pretty beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful there. So you mentioned that you're into this, right? So can you tell us a little bit about what makes you decide to start this coaching stuff?
Oh, okay. Um, I have been always interested in people, observing people, understand how people think, how people proceed, their mind, their life, and so on since I was a little child. That's the first thing. The second thing, I got into the personal growth realm was because I had depression when I was 23.
23.
And yeah, so I had to help myself to get out of there. Well, I decided to help myself to get out of there because there was a really bad place to be. So that was my first time entering the personal development. And after that, I was quite conscious and aware of I need to constantly develop my mind, my spirit, my energy, and so on. So I don't fall back into a situation that my reality and my inner self clashed and then another depression. That was not where I want to go.
Mm.
So I was interested in people since childhood. I like to listen to people talk, and then my own experience of emotional distress. And then in my last career, which was in fashion retail,
Mhm.
I in the end I led a really big team. So I had this intention that I wanted to motivate my team to come to work, to perform, to find purpose and meaning in their work, and then connect with their life. So I kind of combine my own experience in personal growth, bringing into like coaching my team, not just in their career performance, if they are open to talk. So all come together. I realize I enter a phase of my life that personal achievement. I had all those, like I work in very big companies, international experience, earning really good money. I had all those, like traditional success. I want, I feel like I'm meant for more. I had a purpose. I have a purpose here as a human being. And then the external success didn't really bring the sense of connection to myself. So that's how
Mm.
everything come together to look for a way that I can make impact. For me, that's important because I had a lot. I had a very good career with a lot of support and love from other people. So I can have the career, had those experience. I had people's help, had people's love to support me coming out of my depression. So I want to be that person for others. That was my very, very initial intention. And my last career, it could let me do this in a scale, probably in the corporate, in my with my team. But I wanted to do more.
Hmm.
So there was the original intention that I started to move into the coaching space since I was already doing it with my team.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that
That's
was
great.
the short version of the whole story.
That's pretty short, but yeah. So for the viewers out there, if you guys didn't know, she has traveled around the world and lived in some great places. Like for example, she lived in India, Mumbai, right, and
Yeah,
Milan in Italy, and also Shanghai, China.
yeah.
Um, she's done a lot of things. You mentioned you had depression at age 23. Isn't that like right in college or after college?
Right after I had my first year and a half in India. I was in India for 3 years. So there was 2 years in India.
Hmm.
So
It's
23,
interesting
24.
because not many people at this age experience depression or know that they have depression. And usually they find out
Okay.
more later on, right?
I didn't. Well, it was after I came out of it, and then I learned more about psychology, mental health myself. I realized I had a depression. Back then, I knew like it was super bad. I didn't want to live. I wanted to die every single day. Like I would pray before go to bed that tomorrow morning I wouldn't open my eyes, and then I will have this huge disappointment. The next morning, I woke up. So it was a really bad place. And I was always angry. I had so much anger in me. I was always complaining in a very, very bad way about life, about people, about myself, especially myself. I had a lot of terrible, terrible judgment on myself when I had all the good career everyone would wish for at 23 or 24. So I was in a really bad place. I didn't feel, I couldn't connect with love. I couldn't connect with happiness. I couldn't connect with enjoyment. Like my daily life was kind of in a motion to numb myself so I wouldn't feel that feeling of depression. So, but I didn't know there was depression because back in like 20 years ago, nobody was talking about it. It was afterwards, with all my learning, I self-diagnosed that I probably had a very bad depression.
Hmm. Uh,
Yeah.
but th- I would say I will understand what you're going through because I'm actually in depression as well, or had have depression as well still. Um, for those my viewers out there who don't know much about me, there is a lot of points in my life which is pretty low points in my life where
Mm-hmm.
feeling suicidal, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
it was constant in my mind. And
Mm.
doing coaching like you did, and for me as well, it actually helped me a lot. Especially, I'm an educator because I do not
Mm-hmm.
want my students or my children to go through such things that I have
Mm-hmm.
been through, and it makes me trying to think about my life more in the sense that I want to be around more. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there's always this lingering voice keep telling me that you are there's no worth in you, there's nothing. And so it's difficult, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, 23 years old. Like there, when I was 23 years old, no one actually around me actually supported me in the way that I will understand what I need to get through. And I
Yeah.
guess the same for you, but you
Yeah.
managed to find that way to move on. um, for some people, unfortunately, for some people, they are not able to find this, and so things go terribly for them. And it's very sad
Yeah.
that this happened to people at a young age. And I do know in Taiwan,
Uh-huh.
start of depression usually starts when they are in high school.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's because of the pressure of the achievement they need to get to study in the top schools,
Yeah.
or the expectations from their parents, which causes
Yeah.
this depression, and they do not know it. And
Yeah.
right now in Taiwan, in most high schools or junior high schools, we have counseling
Yeah.
team.
I
But
heard.
yeah, so which is great. But the problem is not many students realize the problem, and they don't dare to approach these counselors to help them with their life. All right.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so what kind of advice would you say to young students out there who are having this suicidal thoughts or going through low self-esteem right now? And what kind of advice would you give them? Because you are Taiwanese as well, and you have been through the same things they have been through. And so,
So first, we always like there's still this mentality like you if you like you had a problem, so you needed to go to those people. Think about your mind. It's your strongest muscle. And like we exercise because we need to exercise our muscle so we can keep our body healthy. So actually going to the counseling, going to the coach is not because you have a problem, because you cherish the muscle that's called your mind.
Mm.
So if you feel like you just want someone to talk, then go talk. There's no harm. And if you really notice that you have those thoughts of self-sabotaging or self-hurt, and remind yourself that you need to get help. Because I experienced at that situation, we actually shut us down, not getting help. Like this is a phase, and I know it's painful, but you are the only one who can choose to make it as a phase, not your life. You have
Mm.
to make the choice. We are one of the most precious power we have as a human being is the will and the right to choose. So if you don't choose, this is going to be just a phase or just an experience in your life. You let it define your life, then it's hard. But if you are willing to choose, it's just an experience in your life that's going to set you up for something bigger. Your world will change just by this decision. Not even before talking to a counselor. Just decide whatever hard experience you are going through right now. It's experience. It's not your life. It's not you. And it's going to set you up for a bigger future if you are willing to experience and grow from it. That's
That's a,
that that's that was the thing I hold on to, and that is the thing I'm working with my clients all the time.
mm. That is great advice. Um,
Yeah.
I actually had a student once. This was also during my time of depression. It was kind of hard. This student might have this self-suicidal thoughts all the time, but she
Hmm.
managed to come to me and to tell me about it. And I told her, I think I'm in the same boat as you, but at the same time, I'm not as young as you. I told her, you have
Yeah.
way more time ahead of your life, and there's more things you can work on. I wouldn't mention her name, but she was at that time 15 years old.
Yeah.
This was many years ago. Um, it was tough for her, and I'm
Hmm.
always on the lookout for her in case she does something weird, and which she does.
Hmm.
And sometimes, occasionally, when she has these suicidal thoughts, she will immediately run out of school or run out to the roads. It was difficult for me as an educator, as her teacher. I'm trying to be her friend as well and trying to figure out what I can do to help her. But at the same time, she needs to help herself. And right now, she's actually way much better. She's still around. She's way much better now. She has come so far from where she was. Um, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say I'm the one who helped her, but I would say
Hmm.
I'm there, at least there, to help her find out that
Yeah.
it wasn't, her. It's all about trying to figure out how she can get by in life.
Yeah.
At the same time, while I was doing that, it also helped me in a way to figure out myself, like discover
Yeah.
myself, what my
Yeah.
true purpose is, and makes me want to teach as an educator, as a teacher, even
Hmm.
more.
Hmm.
But like you said, for yourself, you were teaching your team, coaching your team how to be better. Are they receptive of this?
My team was okay. You mean in my corporate life, right?
Right. 'Cause you coach them as well to help them to be
Yeah.
better.
Well, my team was like they are personally quite highly motivated. When I hire my team, I was looking for a certain personality for sure,
Mm,
and of course because happiness is everyone's pursuit. Nobody wants to show up somewhere or wake up unhappy.
mm,
So if they are down, and of course I ask for permission. Every time I ask for permission, I don't coach people without permission. Sometimes if they just want me to listen, I listen. And if I can help them to do their job better, so they have better, like options of future in their career, of course most of the people will be open. So I
mm,
don't coach my team just to do their current job well. I always told my team, I want you to be me someday. Like that was my intention. Like every one of them, I believe they can be me, like being a leader of multiple teams or even bigger. But you have to grow to be
Mm.
that. So like for very motivated professionals, usually it's really welcome. And I always coach only with permission.
Man, I wish you were my boss now. Well, my boss is not watching this. Don't get me fired. But yeah, so wow, just in this with this kind of great leader, I mean, this is different. I think I'm in the same chair as you as well, but I do things a little bit different in the sense that it causes me some problems. Like you ask them if you could coach them, and you coach them for to be a better person. For me, as a teacher, as an educator, or also in my position in my school, I want my team or my teachers, the teachers that I work with, to produce a kind of product in the same way that they are giving the best of themselves, so the students can learn a lot and the program can be successful. That is the original idea that I had. But of course, unfortunately, not many people have this ambition that I have, and most people just go to school just to go by paycheck to paycheck. And
Yeah.
this is very difficult because when I impose my ideas or trying to make it work, it sort of kind of backfire on me.
Yeah.
Right. And at the same time, it makes me wonder what's the point of me doing my work? If I'm doing my work and I'm being sabotaged by myself or because of the things that I done, it makes it worse for me as a person and makes me feel very low self-esteem, right? And so this is very difficult. And of course, I'm going through it, and I know I need to pick myself up and keep on working. I think there are a lot of others people out there similar to my situation where they have their ideas, they want to do something better, to be a better person, to better work in a better place, but at the same time it backfires on them, right? Y- I mentioned earlier that you work in different countries. You worked in India, Italy, and Shanghai, and China. I have also lived in different countries as well. I'm originally from Malaysia, so I lived in Malaysia, Australia, and America. Hawaii, for example. I live in
Cool.
Hawaii, and surfing is not my thing. Like you love surfing. I actually got drowned trying to surf before, uh, and so that was also considered, I guess, the start of my depression, I guess, right? So, but with all my journeys in different countries and different aspects of different people and different lifestyles, it changes the way I think, right? And so, for Taiwanese students who haven't been through this lifestyles that we had, that you had, um, their mindset is sort of set on certain things. So, how can they get past this? Like, we're talking about open mindset, the mindset that they need to be a better person. Because right now, and most students' mindset in Taiwan or in high schools that I'm teaching, all they do need to know is to get by day and follow what their parents said. At the same time, this might not be what they want. It might not be the happiness, the true happiness that they want in the end. And so this causes, like I mentioned earlier, suicidal or early depression or more things to come. So, what is your opinion on this?
Okay. First, I think we all have to start somewhere. You know, like our age give us the edge to have more experience. But we both started as a teenager and as a 20 something, and then 30 something, and 40 something. So what I would say is that let me counter a bit of the concept being better.
Okay.
The problem is that we think we need to be better in a way. We are, this is going to borderline spiritual. We are born perfect. We feel we are not perfect. It's because our true self don't fit in the societal expectation.
Hmm.
So remember this. There is you. There's expectations. Don't get it mixed up together. You know, now the current you or current us may failing or feel falling short to some expectations. It's okay. That's this moment, me.
Hmm.
But the next moment, next year, I'm going to be different. There will be different expectations. So everything other than us, they will change, they will pass, they will run by. So again, it's about being back to ourselves. Yes, we will always, like shoulder the pressure because we are in a society. But when you are shouldering the pressure, remember to take some time to think about what kind of person you want to be, what kind of
Mm.
life you want to live. Because at your high school days, it seems quite impossible. I remember when I was 16 or something, my dad asked me, I had a lot of expression in my family. I was a straight student. My dad asked me like, so what do you want to do? After you graduate from college or whatever, the job. I told my dad, I don't know, but I want a job. The company will send me flying all over the world.
Mm.
Nobody around me, nobody in my family, in my surroundings have a job that's flying around other than flight attendant. And I told my dad, I'm not going to be a flight attendant. I don't know what
Mm.
kind of job I will do, but that's a life I want to have. So I set my mind on that. I started doing research, reading books, watching movies, so I can understand what is opportunity there, out there. The opportunity is always out there. As long as you can think about it, it exists. Trust me.
Mm.
Even with all the groundbreaking science and discovery in our modern society, they are just putting things together that it's already there. So nobody in the human history built something out of thin air. So if you can think about it, you can make it. The first step is to think about it, regardless what you go through. Yes, we have the responsibility to be a good student. We might feel we have the responsibility to go to good university. It's fine. Again, it's an experience. You can choose to experience failing expectations. You can choose to try your best to meet the expectations. These are all your experience. And this experience is going to set you up to be the future you. You just don't know who that is.
Mm.
It's fine. It's okay not to know. The most important thing is to picture what kind of life you want to have. Everyone told me like, if you speak really good English, your life's going to be easy. If you read my story when I was in Italy, it was not easy. And I speak Italian and English. So whatever story people tell you is not necessarily true. Just
Mm.
explore yourself. Imagine in 10 years, where do you want to be? And what kind of job you want to do? Even that job doesn't exist. Now we have AI, we have more job that don't exist 5 years ago. So don't confine yourself in the now. Live in the now, experience now, but your future is not here. So this is like I always that's also like the way I coach my client. Everyone like try kind of get enmeshed all timeline together. But the timeline is not together. There's something that we think is past. There's something that is here. There's something that's unknown that's in the future. Don't mash them together. Who are you today is not who you will be.
Mm.
So it's okay. Again, it's an experience. Just take it as an experience. That experience is not you and it doesn't define you. Yeah,
I,
that's yeah.
that's great advice. It reminds me also of a quote that by Jordan Belfort. I don't know if you know who that is. Jordan Belfort. He says the only thing standing between you and your goal is to keep telling yourself that you can achieve it. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
if you think you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like another one, Jane Austen, but hers is a little bit different. She says, "The more I know of the world, the more I'm convinced that she will never see a man who can she really love because she requires so much." So it kind of like or as students, right? As all adults, we go out to the world, we see all these things, we experience these things, and then it gives us a it makes a frame for us. We
Yeah.
feel like we are in this box that we can't go way beyond that. Um,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like your dad as well. I ask my children, I was like, what do they want to do when they grow up? Tell me. And most of the time, the answers I get is, I don't know. I don't know what I want. For me, it's not like the answer I wanted, because when I was young, I was a bit different. I'm not a straight A's person like you, perfect,
Mm,
but I had a vision what I want to be when I was younger. Of course, I'm a little bit different than what I achieve now, but I still had a vision when I was younger, like what I want, and I kind of set my path towards that. And I do want my children to do that as well. If they set a path towards what they can find, and while I'm still around, I can help them achieve, or not, or make it easier for them to get by in this life. Because I don't want my children or any of my students to suffer the things that I have suffered, because they can get past that easily. Or maybe sometimes they need to learn, but still, I can they can get past that easily, right? So I kind of feel like I'm that kind of person, which is why I'm a kind of person that will say, you need to do this. I think this is better for you. But at the same time, I think, like you mentioned, I give people a frame already, and I kind of make them not think for themselves. And I think that's kind of bad in some ways, right?
I think, well, I consider even a coach because, like people asking, so you give advice? No, I don't give advice. I
Mm,
inspire. My job is to inspire because, when we expect someone to be, if you tell someone that you can be better, we are judging that person is not good enough.
mm,
And if we tell someone you have more possibilities, then if that person didn't think that means I'm telling that person that you are not living your full potential. It's never a good feeling on the receiving side, that being, no matter where it's directly or subtly implied, to say they are not the best self of themselves. So what I do is I always ask, where do you want to go from now?
mm.
If that
Okay.
person didn't want, if they didn't, but the person doesn't really want to go anywhere, it's their lives, it's not my life. I but if they tell me, like, okay, I want to be like you, and then I will ask them, like, which part?
Mm,
For example, like traveling or have a really high paying job. Everyone have a very different understanding of like you. And so, like, I always ask, so what do you want to achieve with the conversation with me? Or where do you want to go from here? Or what is not so satisfying for you right now? I inspire them to, well, I would like to consider that I'm inspiring them. I ask questions for their discovery
mm,
because everyone is supposed, and we are the owner, we are the sole owner and sole sovereignty of our life. Nobody, no matter it's my parents or my partner, my romantic partner, nobody get to decide who I am or what I want to be or how good I should be. Like I'm the one who decide how good I want to be or how much I want to be. So what I do is that I always ask questions. I encourage people to do self-discovery. If they tell me, but I don't know, I say, like, it's okay, you don't know, but think about, do you like to be right here, right now, in 1 year's time, in 3 years' time, in 5 years' time? Most people will say no.
mm,
Then I ask them, so in 5 years, where do you want to go? You don't need to have a very clear picture. When I say I want to fly around, I didn't have a clear picture. I only have one thing, one clue. But starting with that clue, it's like planting seed. The clue is a seed, and the seed you have to nurture it so it can grow into a tree or a beautiful flowers or a beautiful garden. So planting the seeds, keep planting the seeds and they will grow. But if you don't plant, you just tell yourself, no, I'm here. This is everything. This is fixed. This is what life's going to be. The saddest thing that you can say to yourself is, this is what life's going to be. Life is not fixed. Life is not static. Life is always changing. So when you say this is what life's going to be, you put yourself in a very, very small frame. And my job is just to tear down the frames. I tear down my own friends all the time. I'm very conscious since this is my job and my experience. I tear down my friends. Sometimes I took out how I see things and ask myself, is this belief serve me? Serve my happiness, serve my creation for my future. If it doesn't serve me, but I've been believing it for a long time, I will ask myself, so how can I change it? You know, the thoughts, just thoughts. It's open to change.
Would you say this is for an adult as well? Like, because for example,
Yeah,
like most adults have established their life, they have everything stable, but
yeah.
they're not happy where they are.
Mhm.
Would this be the same thing? I tear down my frame. That would be kind of very difficult in a sense, right?
I mean, like I'm a more drastic person in a way. I like it. I am someone that when I want to change, I change everything. It's you see my life experience, but it's not required all the time to do this drastic re-identification or something. You can do it bit by bit. It probably is just a small aspect. For example, you believe that if you want to a successful career, you don't have time for your family, but you actually didn't enjoy it. You want more time with your family. So start changing this belief and see where the possibility is. There's always possibility. The problem is whether do we have the capacity to see possibilities? If
Hmm.
we don't believe there's possibilities, there's nothing to talk about because we don't believe it. So so that's always my tag. Everything I talk about work on everyone who can start it thinking about for themselves. Probably not for 3 years old or 5 years old, but as long you are a teenager, you are equipped to start thinking for yourself. The first step I do with my clients, it's like I call it map success inside out.
Mhm.
I take them through their clarity of what kind of person they want to be from the physical level to the spiritual level. And with this person, what they want to create in their external life, as in relationships, careers, finance, their whole environment, the house and everything. That's always the first thing I work with my clients because if you don't know where you are going, there's no point doing anything because you are just wandering around.
Some people just like to wander around. That's true. I think what you mentioned was your first step to your 5 pillars, right? I actually
Yeah.
was looking at it. So to listeners out there, she has 5 pillars in her coaching stuff. She actually mentioned the first one she had, which is map success inside out, and we said it in clarity, which is like a vision thing, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's good. You just explained it. Could you somehow tell us what's the other four?
The second one is manifest so effortlessly. I need to name it in a way people will intrigue. So, in the traditional sense, I think now it's more open. People talk about it more, but we all believe you need to work hard, work long to make things happen. But now, as all the healing and everything, there's a word is quite popular. It's manifestation. So there are two ways to make things happen. One is that things flow through you. Two is you try to make it happen. So the first one is in a way more effortless. The second one is like you try this, it doesn't work, you try next. So you always feel hard. You feel you need to go to control. So my second pillar is manifest so effortlessly. And how? It started with how we think about things. So that's all we talk about so far. What's in your mind, it's always going to be in your world. So at this pillar, I work with my clients' mind. I guide them how to make their mind working with them instead of against them, because our mind tell a lot of terror stories like, no, this is dangerous. No, this is impossible. No, you are not good enough. Our mind love horror stories. So how to train our mind, stop telling horror story, actually working with us. It's actually a huge skill to learn. And my third pillar is calling the force. So I talk about that it flows through me. So it's about how to trust everything around me is here to support me. How I trust no matter what I need, I can get it. So I said it calling the force. Like I also talk about We are spiritual beings, so we are not just this body. If you have a religious belief, you can talk as a souls, or we are energy, or however you call it. We are always connected with a bigger force, and that force is actually going to do things for you with what you think in your head. So I said call in the force. How we are get connected makes things to happen faster for us instead of we need to work every single thing on our own. And the fourth pillar is translate potential into reality. So how did you see potential? How do you believe in your potential? How do you see possibilities? How do you open your mind? And then how you make it happen? So everything is possible, but how do you translate and choose which possibility into your reality? And like we are ready for different things at different times. A lot of times we get ahead of ourselves, so we feel like things are mishapped, things are not lined up for us. So how do we recognize when we are ready for what and translate into our reality so everything can fall in places? And the fifth one is a lot of people are looking for, it's unshakable, calm, and in control. Now the society is changing much faster than the time that we got our society. So it's like it changed much faster compared to 20, 30 years ago. And the information is much more, the technology much more. So like everything seems in chaotic, everything seems changing. So there's this fear and uncertainty, and with the war going, with the pandemic going, and everything is going, it's like people got really engaged with the external emotion. So through all the steps, with all the connection back to ourselves and realizing how the external world is working with us, the person will reach a sense of great control and a sense of deep calm. It's like I always say, like in typhoon, you will only, if you are in the center of typhoon, you will not feel anything. So we are supposed to be that center point for our lives. Like the external can whirl, the external can rain, they can have like hurricanes, tornadoes. But as long as we are in the center of ourselves, everything will be fine. I guarantee you.
But the
But
problem
most
is
of
getting to the center. It's like you,
yeah, but most people just get swirled with the wind and with the rain and everything, and then try to grab hold. You are not going to grab hold in the wind. You are only able to grab hold when you are in the center. Look at the nature. You can learn so much from the nature, how to live your life.
I
Yeah.
guess from all this as well, it tends to come to the question: are you courageous enough to face the wind, to get into the middle of the typhoon, or courageous enough to do a lot of things? Like for in your life, you went to India, like a journey from Taiwan to India. That's a huge journey. Like
Yeah.
people were just like, okay, I'm in Taitung. I'll probably go to Taipei, or I'll probably go to Taichung. Or just like an hour or 3 hours drive away. It's like a big gap, right? This is a huge
Mhm.
difference. But you went from a different country. It's like that's courageous in a lot of ways, and not many people will put the effort or uh, or want to do it. Like you make the big step. Could you explain to us what's the decision that you made from to take that big step to go to India?
It's a life I want.
It's a life that you want.
Yeah, because okay, I talk about clarity a lot. I can get very geeky with clarity because I think clarity is it's like the fundamental thing of everything. So I always ask people, how bad do you want it?
Hmm.
When we discuss about like not having fear, not having the courage, if you don't want it bad enough, there's no point discussing whether you have courage or not. Because you don't, if I don't. So when I was in India, the story has been I wanted to go abroad to work, and my ideal target is like Canada, United States, Europe, as everyone else, since they are developed countries. But the experience I got is that the company, even like I have a really good grade on like TOEFL and all the English tests, and then I graduate. One of my major is actually foreign language, which it's mainly in English, but like nobody believes an Asian can speak good, or a 10 Chinese person can speak good English, because we are quite famous or very good at taking exams. So there was the setbacks I felt, that nobody trusts my language ability, so they didn't give me opportunity for the job. I was actually much more qualified than whatever job description or criteria they listed. But just because they didn't believe me, they didn't even give me an opportunity for interview. And then the opportunity of India came. So I thought myself that first, I really wanted to go abroad. I wanted to live abroad since I was 16 years old. And I waited till my college finished. So I really, really wanted to go abroad. Second, I want to prove that I can live in English environment and survive. So India provided the two, and then with a job. So I wanted it bad enough.
And you got it. So that's great.
Yeah, so that's always, and the thing is, my flight was the next day of that famous Bombay bombardment.
Oh.
So everyone was calling, like I was in bed. I needed to catch a really early flight. I was in bed, and all my family and friends are calling like at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., asking me, "Are you going?" I was like, "Sorry, I booked the flight, so stop calling. I have a very early flight." So I mean, like, it seems like I tend to go to places has like terrorist attack or something. It's your choice. You don't need to always take risky choice to prove you want something enough. It's about you want the thing you want bad enough. It's not for you. For me, it's not good to have. It's a must have in life. And I know in me, I will do everything to make it happen, to live abroad, prove that I can survive and thrive in the English-speaking environment, and then I need a job. That's all my criteria. Whatever show up first, matching these three, I'm going for it.
This is everyone. You should definitely get Shuang-Min Chang as your life coach. I mean, she has a lot of experience. She just mentioned her courageous thing that she wanted, and it wasn't courageous at all. It was more like she wants to have it, and she wants to have it. It reminds me of when I was young. When I wanted to do something, I tend to like, yes, I need to do it. I got to figure ways of how to get it, how to get there.
Yeah.
But the problem for me is I got old, and when I got old, I kind of forget all about those things that made me who I am, and trying to find out that reminds me of
May
so
I?
much how I could be. Yeah. You're raising your hands.
I'd like to raise hand if you are a
I feel like
question to me, like because I want to wait for my turn. And I like to talk about my age a lot, and it was quite shocking for a lot of people since I'm a female. What I always said, that our technology has advanced so much, also in the medical and the wellness area. Our function don't function as what our parents, our grandparents, that it doesn't, if you like really take care of yourself, it doesn't age that much anymore. We are living much longer in our generation, and even longer in the next generation, because of all the advances and whatever in technology and in medicine. So it used to be, I'm 40, so it used to be in 40 you are supposed to going down, but I'm just starting. For me, my life just starting in another exciting chapter. So if you have this, sometimes this talk or people talk about you, but you are at which age? One of my motto is I want to stay a child all the time. I want to have fun. I want to understand what's pure happiness. And that's all I want to create in my life. So if today it means I need to take a risk to live a career, I live a career, because again, what I want is I always want to feel the excitement as a child. If you ever I love children. A lot of my friends, they already have children. I like to spend time with them because they are so pure. Their joy is so pure. Their love is so pure. And I want to be that person for myself, at least. Let's not talk about like we have to think for others, we have to contribute. No, for
Mm,
yourself. What kind of emotion you want to, I want to make myself feel. I want to feel that pure joy. So simple. It doesn't need reason. How many times in our adult life we will ask to explain something. I want to be that person for myself that I don't need to explain anything. So I want to be a child all the time. So like, I do the plans, I serve, I travel, I talk to local people. It's just for that. I want to always know what pure joy and love is like. That's how I want to create my life on. Again, that's my clarity. So what do you want to build your life on? You can say I want to build my life with excitement. We know those extreme sport enthusiastic. They go for all kinds of extreme sports because they are looking for that excitement. That's how they want to build their life. So they risk their lives. So what do you want? You can say like, I want to build my life in calm and stability. Do that. But that doesn't mean you should limit yourself of trying something new.
mm,
Because today I'm going to 45 years old and I have a big plan for my 45 years old, ever bigger than now. So it's again how we look at our body and our age and what do we want to be confined. Our biggest confinement is always ourselves. Remember that. We are the one putting ourselves in the prison, or we are the one taking ourselves to soar.
mm.
Yeah.
I like the question you said. What do we want to build our life upon? That's a whole new spectrum we can talk about. I feel like we should have another episode just to talk about this topic. What
Oh,
should we build our life
I'm open. It's like it's really my passion. My passion is to help to empower people to know they are much more than everyone tells them. We are born for more than we believe.
on?
We are we are born with the right, the freedom to create whatever we want to create into this life, no matter it's a relationship, it's family, it's career, or it's just us. We are born with that freedom. But not like all our education, the societal structure right now is taking that knowing from us. So we are not happy.
Hmm.
Our soul knows. Our soul knows we are everything that we want to be. We are everything that we want to create. But all our education and the society and whatever, the newspaper was telling us the opposite. That's why we are not happy because our inner knowing is clashing with our environment. So we have a responsibility to protect our inner knowing.
Hmm.
So that's really what I'm really enthusiastic about. And that is like you can see like I keep talking because I'm really, really enthusiastic and passionate about empowering people to come back to themselves and know that they are more, much, much more than they believe.
That's a whole different topic again.
Oh
We
my
can
God,
have two
sorry.
episodes now talking about this. Oh my god. My
We can do a monthly conversation.
oh, we could for sure. Yeah, if time permits and if schedule permits. So yeah. Um but yeah, guys, everyone, she brought out exciting questions and she brought out exciting topics always to discuss in the future. Mandy, I think the question right now, I think we all need to ponder, like she mentioned, what do we want to build our life upon? And that is, I guess, that is the question that really sets us on our journey to really finding out what we want in our life and uncover our tapestry, create a legacy that we what we really want. I mean, I she mentioned her age. She didn't really vaguely mention her age, but
I'm 40. I'm 40. I just turned
yeah,
40.
I am actually older than her. So there we go. So she's still pretty young, and so, but yeah, so I guess it really doesn't matter how old we are and how life has mold us to be. But I guess it's more about finding out where we need to start and what we want. And maybe right now I am 44 years old. I need to find out my self discovery. Or she mentioned if you're 45, you have your plans. I mean, there's no limit. I guess you just have to, once you find out that that's what you want to build your life, the rest of your life upon. I mean, we should do it. It's just, put the effort. Is like how much you really want it. She mentioned that as well. So this
Yeah,
is
and
great.
it's an experience, if you work on it and then you go all in and then you grow, you change, you transform, and then realize that's not what you want. So what? You go all in, you have the experience. Life is just experience. We are not taking anything away. We create in this life when the day comes.
And I wish you could have a discussion with my students and my kids about this as well.
Oh, I did do stuff. I
Yeah.
did one school talk, something like
Yeah.
school talk because I had several high school friends, they are teachers. So I'm actually open for invitation, just to let you know.
That sounds good.
Like to
I
do.
definitely need to get my school on this. But this is amazing. I had such good time talking to you today, this
Oh,
very
thank you.
morning, cold morning. But I did learn a lot, and I hope my listeners too has learned a lot. But let's wrap it up because we don't want to take
Mhm.
too much of everyone's time.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot we need to talk about this, and so Shuang-Min, thank you for your time again. But
No,
could
thank
you
you.
let us summarize it up? You mentioned a lot of things. You have your 5 pillars. Let's make it into, if you have 2 sentences you want to say to students in Taiwan or students everywhere, what would you say? 2 sentences.
Okay, so I have two mottos I start with, and I usually sign my writing. The first one is that is from Oprah Winfrey. She said, "Life is either an adventure or nothing."
Yeah.
Oh, Helen Keller. I think it's Helen Keller. Life is either an adventure or nothing. And then I always sign every post that I write, "Be loved and be loved."
Hmm. I actually had that quote written down to, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all by
Nothing.
Helen Keller. I actually
Yeah.
got it written down here on my computer. I was going to mention it, but I decided I wanted to go with the Jordan Belfort one earlier. And I was like, oh, yes,
Yeah.
life is an adventure or nothing at all. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much
much.
for the opportunity and the conversation. And thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for me to talk about something that I'm really passionate about.
Well, hopefully we can connect more in the future and get more
Yeah,
interesting
sure.
topics, especially the question we mentioned. So, all our viewers out there, thank you again for coming this cold morning and listening to us talk, and hopefully set you on the journey to start finding out about your life, and or if you already are on this journey, let's make it even better, and then you can come up where you want to be in the future. Thank
Yeah.
you again, everyone. Please stay. If you like the show, please like and subscribe, of course. Tonight, we have another episode at midnight. So if
Oh my
you're up again
God.
at midnight, please stay on and watch me again on stream. And I want to say goodbye to everyone and thank you.
Thank you.